Have you ever wanted to make a Geometry Dash level? No. Well, too bad. You've probably seen a lot of levels like Rage Quit, Acid Factory, and even Bloodbath. And you're probably wondering to yourself, how could I make these? Well, this is what this series can be all about. So, the first step of actually creating a level is making the level. So how to do that is you go into the Create tab and just click on New. Now, you can give the level any name you want. So I'm just going to name mine Test. And if you want a description, you can. And I'm just going to be naming it Test. Perfect. Now, if you want to actually edit it, you have to click this button. Once you click it, it'll bring this up. And just to start off, you probably want to pick a song because your level's going to be kind of boring without a good song. If you click this card up here, you can pick one out of the 22 official laptop levels, or if you click custom, you can select a custom song. So if you go to like music library, you can have there's over 10,000 you can choose from, so you can pick any one if you want. But for right now, I'm just going to choose Dash because it sounds good. Now, at the start, if you want to change your speed or your mode, you can click these. You can have your speed be slowed or really fast, and you can have any mode, which is really nice for some gameplay. If you choose this options button, you can choose if you want like a mini mode, if you want the dual mode, if you want it to be in like reverse, or if you want to like rotate gameplay and just like some spawn groups. But we'll get into that later. Up at the top is color select. You can choose the background color, the ground color, line, middle ground, and just all the colors, which is really helpful. Over here, you can choose the background, the ground, and the middle background. So for the background, I'm just going to choose, I don't know, this wood castle kind of looking thing. And for the ground, I'm going to choose this like brick. And for middle ground, there's not that many right now, but I'm just going to choose this one. And right below the middle ground is fonts. You can choose whatever font you want. I'm going to go with font 18 because it looks nice. So once you do all of that, and now you want to start making a level. So what I like to do is I like to click the start button to know where I start. And now I know where I start. Now if you click this button, it will just play the song and not the actual level like this. But if you click this will play the level. And if you click it again, that's pause. But if you click this square one, it stops. So you start from the beginning next time. And what these two buttons do is zoom in and out. So if I can zoom in or I can zoom out. Now, I do have these two buttons. These are optional. They just let you to group things. To turn them on, you want to go to the pause menu up here. Click on this cogwheel. And then click Enable Link Controls. It's just to help with some things. And over here, we'll get into this stuff later because it looks confusing, but you can get the hang of it pretty quick. Up at the top here is your scroll bar. You can scroll across the level to different parts. And up here is, let's say if I just build an object, I could delete it. Or if I want to undo, I can do that. So to actually place something, you want to click on this build tab and just find something that you want to place down. So I'm just going to place down the normal blocks. Now you just need to click and it'll place it down. Now to do that, you can go to these different options. Here's all of the blocks. This is for like hitboxes. these are just slopes. Most of them you can go through, so that's why they have hitboxes. And some of these blocks you can go through, so you want to add hitboxes to them too. Here are some spikes that you can place down. You can place down like normal spikes. And now, what this red thing is the hitbox of these. To turn this on and off, you want to go back to the pause menu and click on Debug Draw. Since I already have it on, I'll keep it on. But if you do that, it'll have these to show you the hitbox. In this tab, it's just making it things like 3D. So if I just place that there, and then I can place that stuff there, and just make it look like it's 3D. I don't use this often, but it's there if you need it. This tab lets you have all of the jump pads and the orbs and all of the portals. And there's some other stuff, but we'll get to that in a second. This is the text option, so you can choose what text. So I'm going to say hello. And you can have spacing between it if you want to have spacing, which looks kind of cool. If you mess up, you can do Control Z on the keyboard to undo it. But we'll get to this color stuff in a moment. So, one quick thing. If you do have a middle background, you should probably not have it on, because I just learned that if you have it on, it could break your entire level and you won't be able to edit it again. And there's no patches, there's no ways to work around it. Just don't have a middle background right now. But as we continue, these are the different blocks. This is the S block. What it does is disables your dash ring. So if I do that, I did not let go there. It did it for me. And the F block, which is right here, if you place it down and place a block on it, if you jump up and hit that block, your gravity reverses. But if you want to hit your head on a block but not reverse your gravity, you can use the H block, which allows you to hit your head on the ceiling. Alright, the next tab has your particle stuff, which might seem a little bit confusing, but we'll do this in a different tutorial. So right now, we're not doing that. But here's, you have all your different animation stuff. So you have a monster chomping, or waves, and I guess an ocean, you would say. Or you can use this as lava if you slowed it down a bit. Or like this. These are just animations that you can have. They're really helpful for some things. So you can use a fireball, or this can be used as a fireball coming up to get you. So this has just all your different animations and some detailed blocks, but mostly animations. Now, this next tab is the biggest one. This is all of your details. So you're gonna have a room. So if I just do this, you can have a little doorway. And this is just all your detail blocks. This is one of the most useful tabs you can have out of all of Geometry Dash for decorating your levels. Next is all of your collectibles, things that you can collect. So if you put down a coin, you'll be able to pick it up just like that. So that's just all of your collectibles. Here's all different shapes and just some background things. Now all of this is in the particle menu also, so you can have extreme demon particles, which looks funny, but you can have that. Here's just all like the background stuff. So if you've seen some levels, they have like, these like spikes here, but then they have like a different colored spikes. That's what this tab is. So if I did something like that, which you can't really see, but there you go. You can have that. This is all of your like spinning saw blades and just overall stuff that kind of like spins. So if I do that, see how it's spinning kind of. And then saw blade. And now this tab is where all of your like triggers are. And that's what this stuff is mostly. There are some other things I can do that aren't part of this with this stuff, but we'll get to that later. So here's like your start position where you could start at a certain position, or color to like, if you want to, you can change the background color, but I'll show you all that soon. And this final tab is your custom objects. So if you made something that you're really proud of, so like, let's say I made this door, and I'm like really happy with it. You just select all the pieces, click this little button, and now you have it, which you can just place down anywhere. And this works across all different levels. So if you make something in this and want to have it in the other one, you can do it. So that is all the levels. So now if I place down a spike, go to this edit tab. Here you can have your different stuff. Here you can rotate it 90 degrees, or you can click this rotate or this free one down here, and that allows you to rotate it and without any limits. This, if you see the two lines, that will move it one block. This, it will move it a tiny bit. And these ones, which are even smaller than these, move it even smaller. But if you're on a computer, you can use WASD to move. If you do Shift WASD, it'll move it just that tiny bit. So if you click on the scale, this will just scale it on every axis. So you can make it bigger, smaller. But if you click on this scale, you can scale it on either the Y or the X. So you can make weird looking spikes or just weird looking things in general. And now there's this warp one, which is a little bit funny to use, but after a while you can get the hang of it. This allows you to do weird things, like warp it into different directions. So this will move it on its y-axis, and this would move on its x-axis. But if you go to the center ones, it just doubles it like on every axis. These allow you to like make into a weird shape, which is confusing at first, but you get the hang of it. So that is the edit tab. And now if I go to the delete tab, if I just click this, it deletes everything. But if I click this, it will delete all spikes. So if I had a whole bunch here, and if you want to do this, go to your build, have whatever you want to be put down, and hold Shift and just drag everywhere. But let's say I don't want all these. I just go to Edit, select, delete all spikes, which will delete all of them. Next is deleting the start position. So you know how you can click this and you go to wherever you put that. This is just to delete all start positions. You can only have one, but that's how you can quickly and easily delete it. Now with this magnifying glass, you can search for a group. So this may not make sense right now, but I'll explain it. I have this as group 1, and this is group 2. If I want to go find group 1, it'll bring me to it. If I want to go find group 2, it'll bring me to that. So it's just an easy way to move about that level. grouping. So let's say that you want to use a move trigger on 2 spikes. We'll talk about the move trigger in a different episode. But if you select all of this, click edit group, what I usually do is click next free, which will find the next free add-on, which is nice. And if you click add, it will give these two a group ID. So now, if I go into this move, and this may look confusing, but we'll explain it later. And I set target group ID to 1, Y -20, and let's just put a start position here. If I pass over it, it will go down. So grouping just makes it so that you can like move stuff and do all that. Now if you see this copy and paste, you should know what it does. You can copy, paste, or just copy and paste. Or if you click Control D on the keyboard, it would do the same. Now, you see this edit special. If I go to like a saw blade, if I click the special, I can edit its like rotation. So if I want it to be disabled, I can. If I want a custom one where I can have it go as fast or as slow as possible. So that's just kind of nice. And for most things, you can have this color wheel thing. So if I go to a block, you can see like colors. If I go to a detail one, which will have 2, a base and a detail one. To change these colors, what I do is I go to this cogwheel, click on more, I go to color 1, and I can change it to whatever. And go to color 2, change it, color 3, change it. So now, if I go back to here, click edit object, for the base, I can choose which one I want. So if I'll pick, I think, group object 1, which will add that black. But if I go to detail, I can choose a different color. So I'll go with white. So now you can see the black and white. That's what most edit object stuff does, unless if you're using triggers, which will come up with this stuff, but we're not doing that right now. Now there's copy values and like paste stuff. It just like pastes like what values you have on it. So if I put down a different object and click paste colors, it would paste these same colors to here. Or paste state if I want to do that too. Now, let's imagine that this is on layer 0. So this icon down here, you can go to different layers. It won't really do much, it will just help you organize. So if I go to layer 2 and build something there, and if you click this blue one, you can see all the layers. But I want to go to this layer, but I don't want to click through all of this. Go to layer 2. What you can do is click on that object that you know is in a different layer, and click go to layer, and you go straight to that layer. And if you want to deselect something, you can click the deselect button. So there's going to be one more thing that I want to talk about, and it's going to be the color trigger, since this is simple enough to use. So if you place it down, click edit object, you can change the background, ground 1 like ground 2, or all of these. So let's say that the background is blue right now, but if I want to change it to black, I can go to select color, change this to black, click on this color ID, and click the plus button. And special color select, you can choose background or ground, so I'm just going to do the background. And this is the fade time, how long you want it to last before it gets to its full color. So I'm going to say 1 second. So if I start, it'll take 1 second as soon as I pass that trigger to turn all black. this is used in a lot of levels. Now, if you want a certain color from like screen color, there's this hex. If you just copy, and it would change that color. So now if I click play, it will change it to this greenish color. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned a lot about the Geometry Dash editor. I will be uploading another tutorial soon, which will go over like pulsing and some other cool little things. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye!